Hi, I am Somasundaram. In this session, I am going to talk about VSTO, Visual Studio Tools for Office, Excel Programming. This is my agenda today. Introduction. Here we can see why Excel programming is important. Then, what is Excel object model? And what is application level and document level add-ins, custom task pan and action pans? Then, how to connect to SQL Server database. And finally, we can see a small demo on this. Microsoft Office Excel is one of the powerful office tools that provide uncomplicated data management. It is loaded with features such as graphing, charting, pivot tables, and etc. Even though Excel is loaded with numerous features for users, there may be some functionality that cannot be achieved by using the standard Microsoft Excel environment. In Excel 2007, automation is a great mechanism for populating business documents such as reports with data from backend system. But this can be achieved by using VSTO. Microsoft Office Excel 2007 is more programmable than ever before with support for Visual Studio Tools for Office. In fact, VSTO supports .NET frameworks, objects and classes, and it supports Windows Forms controls, and it will have some customizations. Before get into Excel programming, we should have some basic knowledge on Excel object model. The data in an Excel document is highly structured and the object model is hierarchical and straightforward. Excel provides us hundreds of objects with which you might want to interact, but you can get a good start on the object model by focusing on very small subset of the available objects. This includes application, workbook, worksheet, and then range. The application object represents the entire application, and each workbook object contains a collection of worksheet objects. From there, the major abstraction that represents cells is the range object, which enables you to work with individual cells or group of cells. VSTO provides two types of add-ins. The one is application level add-ins and the other one is document level add-ins. An application level add-in is a class library project that produces an assembly associated with a supported Office application. This assembly runs as an add-in within the host application's domain. Using this type of project, you have access to all the .NET namespaces as well as the target Office application's object model. In fact, the project provides a class named this application, which gives you easy access to the Office application object. Like application level add-ins, a document level add-in produces an assembly. The difference, however, is this assembly attaches to an Office document, currently only Word documents, Word templates, Excel worksheets, and then Excel templates. It provides this workbook or this document classes. The custom task pan forms and action pan forms are the task-oriented vertical windows that typically display next to a document. Basically, the task pans are associated with an application level add-in, while action pans are associated with document level add-ins. Besides this one contextual difference, they are basically the same. These pans allow you to build context-sensitive user interfaces for your task with the help of Windows Forms controls. So this is the sample screenshot of action pan. If you see in the right hand side, it is displaying a small vertical window with order details. So whenever an order is selected in the Excel sheet, the corresponding rows order details will be displayed on the right hand side in the action pan. VSTO provides support for manipulating the data from your SQL Server database inside Excel using ADO.NET classes. Let's see how to connect with the Relational Database Management System. First, we have to retrieve the data from the SQL database with the help of ADO.NET classes. And finally, we have to display the records in the Excel spreadsheet with the help of Excel object model. Now we can see a small demo on this. In this demo, I am going to demonstrate how to create a custom task pans and action pans, and then how to connect to SQL Server database. So I am going to open Microsoft Visual Studio 2010, and now I am going to create a Microsoft Office project. So in the file menu, click New Project. Here we can see a template called Office. So inside that I am selecting 2007. So here it is displaying three types of Excel projects: Excel 2007 Addin, Excel 2007 template, and Excel 2007 workbook. This Addin project is useful to create an application level add-in for the Excel application. And template project is useful to create a Excel template. This workbook projects will be useful to create a typical Excel workbook application. So first I am going to create a add-in project, and my project name is Excel Add-in 1, and let me change my solution name to Demo. I am clicking OK. So it's creating a add-in projects for me. So inside the add-in class, it is displaying two default events: this add-in underscore startup and then this add-in underscore shutdown. So this is the solution structure. So now I am going to add a user control. So with the help of user control, I am going to add a custom task pan. Right click, add new item, and user control 1. Yes, it's added. Now inside the user control, I am going to add a couple of controls. So let me select a toolbox. Okay, the first one is month calendar. I'm adding it. Then I'm going to add one button. Let me resize this, and I'm just changing the text property of the button as insert date. Okay. Now I have to associate this user control into my task pan. So for that, already I have a snippet for this. So let me copy the snippet and add it in this addin.cs. Also I have a method show task pan. Copy it and paste it. So I have to call this show task pan. Yeah. So here I am just creating an instance of custom task pan collection. Then using the show task pan, I am just adding the user control into the custom task pan. So first I am creating an instance for user control as a date pan, and that instance I am going to add into custom task pans collection. Custom task pans.add that instance name, and I'm just giving a title selected date. Then I'm just setting the width of the custom task pan equal to that user control width, and make the visible property of custom task pan to true. Okay. Now I'm just clicking this insert date button. So inside this button, click event. So inside this button click event, I'm just creating an instance for an active cell. For that I'm using a globals class. Using this globals class, I'm accessing application object through I'm accessing active cell. So for active cell I created an instance, and this instance have a property value 2. So for that value too, I'm just setting the selected date from the calendar. That date I'm converting into short date. Then for the cell property, I'm setting it as auto fit. Okay. Now I'm going to run this application. It will open an Excel application with custom task pans, and inside the task pan it will display the calendar control and a button control. Here you can see. So I'm just selecting a date and clicking insert date. Immediately the selected date will be displayed in the active cell, and also it is resizing the column. Let me shrink and let me select this 30. Yeah, you can see here 30. Yes, it's working. So as this add-in is an application level add-in, this add-ins will be available for all the Excel applications. So now I'm going to open a new Excel application. So even here I can able to see the task pane. Yeah, here you can go. Set date. Okay, so let me close this. Okay. In this Excel we have an option to manage this task pane. So in the ribbon UI we have a button Excel options. So if I click this, there we have a tab add-ins. Here it will display all type of add-ins. So as our task pane is a com based add-in, so under the manage drop down list we have option com add-ins. Let me select this and click go button. So in the first item is the first item you can see this is Excel add-in. This is for our custom task pane and this is selected by default. Now I'm going to uncheck this, and if I click OK, immediately my task pane will get disappear. So again I'm clicking this option, Excel options and add-ins. I'm going to check this again. Here also we have an option to remove this add-in. So now I'm just clicking OK. So again I can able to see the my custom task pane. Yeah, it's coming. You can see. Okay, let me close this. No. Okay, now I will close all the open windows. Okay. Next, I am going to create a new project, Excel workbook project. New project, Excel workbook project. Add new project. So Excel workbook. My project name is Excel workbook 1. Okay. So while creating a new Excel workbook project, it will ask me to enter the new document name. Here we have an option to enter the new document name, or if I have already an Excel workbook, I can select this copy an existing document, and through this browse button I can select my existing document. So in this case I am going to create a new Excel document, and the document name is Excel workbook 1. So if I click OK, it will create a Excel workbook project with an Excel sheet, 3 Excel worksheets. here you can see it is displaying an Excel sheet. So in the bottom we have sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, and if you see the solution explorer, we have 3 classes for sheet 1 and sheet 2 and sheet 3, as well as we have a separate class for this workbook. Each classes have a startup and shutdown events. Let me see the code. Yeah, here you can see startup and shutdown. So these events will be common for each classes. Sheet 1, yeah, sheet 3 underscore startup, sheet 3 underscore shutdown. Okay. So let me delete the sheet 3. Here we have option to rename or move or copy all the Excel options. It's available here. So I'm going to delete the sheet 3 as well as sheet 2. Okay. So using this Excel workbook project, I'm going to create a new action pane. So for that, I'm just right clicking, select add new item. So here we can see action pane control. Action pane control is nothing but this is also user control. I clicked add. So in this control I'm going to add a couple of controls. One drop down list control and one combo box and one button. Let me expand this. Okay. I'm going to change the name of a combo box into com customers. And in this items collection, I'm going to add a couple of customer IDs. Already I have those IDs. Let me copy from my snippet. And the first value is all, then the remaining are customer IDs. Click OK. I'm going to change the text of button 1 into display customers or customer details. So I have my action pane control ready. I have to add this action pane control into my Excel workbook. So I'm just open the class Excel workbook, this workbook.cs, and let me copy out from the snippet. This line of code will create an instance for the action pane control. So inside the startup event, I'm placing another line of code. So that instance, action pane control instance, will be added into action pane controls collection. Now I'm opening my sheet1.cs. So inside that, I'm going to place one method, get customers. Okay, so I have to add a namespace using system.data.sql client. So this get customers method will accept a parameter customer ID. This value may be all or the other customer IDs. If this customer ID value is all, it will get all the customers from the Northwind database. If it have a specific customer ID, it will display only the corresponding customer from the database. And using ADO.NET connection, I'm going to connect to SQL Server database and just reading the data from the Northwind database. So here, so in this line, I'm just getting the active sheet of the current application using the worksheet object. And next, using the range object, I'm going to find the set of cells. Inside that, I'm placing the caption, customer code, and setting some properties, and as well as customer name, and for that also setting some properties. And I'm just looping through the data reader. Inside that, I'm again using the range object, I'm filling the customer ID and customer name values. Now I have to call this getCustomers method in the click of this display customer details button. Again I have a code for this. So I'm using a globals class. Using that I'm accessing the sheet. So inside that I have a method getCustomers, and I'm passing the necessary parameter for that. Now I'm going to run this workbook application. Before that, let me set this as a startup project. So it will open an Excel workbook application with action pans, and inside the action pan I have a drop down list with list of customer IDs and a button. It's loaded the action pan. It's displaying all the customer IDs. Also it's loading my task pan as well. So I'm just select a particular customer and clicking the button display customer details. So immediately it will display the customer code and customer name in the Excel sheet. Let me select another customer. Click it. Yeah, it's changing. And if I select all, okay, it's displaying all the customers. So this action pan it's a document level add-in. So this is applicable to only this Excel worksheet. And if I open the new Excel application, the action pans will not be visible. See, it is showing only the task pans, not the action pan. If I go to the other application, here it is displaying the action pans, the task pans as well as the action pans. Okay. So I'll close this and I'll close this. No. Okay, thank you.